USA Basketball coming together this past Tuesday for its 13-day training camp in Las Vegas in preparation for the Olympics, which will include exhibitions against Australia, Argentina, and Spain. Their first exhibition game is tomorrow against Nigeria. Team USA has assembled quite the roster, and it's not even full yet. Plenty of backcourt scoring, including Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, and Damian Lillard. Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum on the wing. Bam Adebayo and Kevin Love expected to anchor the middle. Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton will join following the conclusion of the NBA Finals. Senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst joining us now on SportsCenter. Brian, what's the latest buzz coming out of the first few days of Team USA practice in Vegas?
Yeah, Jay, so they've let some NBA scouts and executives watch the scrimmages, and what those guys report is, wow, is the team small? I mean, Team USA for decades has always had size because all of those European teams that they have to play against all have those big, strong centers. This year, guys like Rudy Gobert or Marc Gasol they could see in Tokyo. They've just gone different this time. They've gone small. They've been starting Bam Adebayo in the scrimmages against the select team. They've been bringing Draymond Green off as the backup center with a little bit of Kevin Love. And there's even been times where they could see going to Kevin Durant at center, going with the NBA revolution of small ball. So that's where they're playing. They haven't had the greatest week so far. I've been told that the USA select team actually beat them in their first scrimmage that they had 2 days ago. The senior team came back and won yesterday, and today there's not going to be scrimmaging. So we'll get a good test of where they are against Nigeria tomorrow, which has 8 NBA players on its roster.
All right, let's talk about one of the guys on the team. Damian Lillard spoke yesterday for the first time since the Blazers were eliminated from the playoffs last month. What's he saying about his future in Portland?
Well, if I could just be frank with you, Jay, it was a non-denial about trade rumors. Now, he has dealt with trade rumors really for the last 4 or 5 years on and off. And over he has always said, no, I want to be in Portland. This is I want to be with these teammates. He stopped short of that this time. He said, whatever I need to say about the direction of the team, as I've said to the team. And that was it. He left it there. Now, you can interpret that many different ways. The reality is, people around Damian Lillard have been saber-rattling, both behind the scenes with other teams and also with the Trailblazers themselves. I don't think he's gotten to that threshold yet, but I think he's closer than he has been in the past, and I think those comments yesterday were revealing in that regard.
Wow, keep an eye on that. Dame has 3 years remaining on his current deal with a player option for 2024-2025. Brian Windhorst with us on SportsCenter. Brian, thank you.
Get done what we got to get done. We're all going to have to sacrifice something.
At the end of the day, I'm out there. I feel good. I don't feel pain.
Don't get nervous now.
Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat?
Play fast, play random, play together.
Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust.
Antetokounmpo, he is dominating right now. Booker, long three-pointer. That's good. Devin Booker with a 7-footer right on him.
It's a 0-0 mindset for us going into Game 3. We know it gets rowdy in Milwaukee, but I think we're ready for it.
Deer Park awaits, but first, Chris Paul and Devin Booker aren't just dominating the Bucks. They are piling up some numbers we have never seen before. They've combined for 113 points in the first 2 games of this series. That's the most by a starting backcourt through 2 NBA Finals games since the league started tracking starters back in 1971. As SC On the Road continues, presented by Rocket Mortgage, Kendrick Perkins and Monica McNutt back with us this morning on SportsCenter. Perk, I want to start with you. What stands out to you about the Suns' performance through 2 games of this series?
Well, everything. We already know that the Suns got talent. We know that they got skills, right? We know that they're tied on the string defensively. We know that they play beautiful basketball on the offensive end. We know all those things. But one thing that stands out to me is the growth, the maturity level, the IQ of the young guys. And I'm talking about Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne. And when I say the maturity level, I'm not talking about making shots. I'm talking about rotating on defense. I'm talking about getting in your sets, making plays for others, passing up good shots to get great shots. And then to top it off, I want to listen to the post-game interviews and listen to these young guys speak that gospel and that knowledge and embrace being in the finals and tell the world that the mission is not complete and not get too high and get ahead of themselves, but stay in the moment. Live in the moment. That's the most impressive thing that has struck me from game 1 and game 2 about this Phoenix Suns team is their young core and their maturity level and their high IQ.
Suns improved to 7-1 in games 1 and 2 of the series so far. This postseason, and you talk about things that have impressed you, Perk. Something that impressed all of us this morning is your ability to battle through the adversity, because apparently some bird decided to pick beef with you of all people, but apparently, according to Google, that's good luck.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, look, he caught me when my back was turned, you know what I mean? But you know what happens. The real ones get through it, G. The real ones get through it. You wipe it off and keep it moving. That's how we do it in the country.
That's exactly what you did. That bird will be nowhere near you anymore because he knows now Perk is on the lookout. Kendrick Perkins joining us this morning, clean on SportsCenter. Thanks, Perk.
Appreciate you.
Really, Google says that's good luck?
I think you told me.
Monica, have you ever had that kind of good luck?
I have not had it. I don't need it, but I have heard that is a thing, supposedly.
Okay, all right. Every time I get the car detailed, but never on, we'll leave that alone. Monica, Giannis said he is not worried about Jrue Holiday's offensive struggles through 2 games of this series. What chance do you give the Bucks of winning the series if their supporting cast continues to play the way it has?
Jay, I don't see it happening, quite frankly. If this supporting cast can't step into the very large shoes that they managed to fill through the regular season and even through this postseason up until this point, it is going to be too much for Giannis to contend with the efficiency with which this Phoenix Suns squad is playing. Last night, they shot 50% from the 3. They were 48% from the field. In game 1, they were 46% from the field. Do I think Phoenix will remain this torrid? No. But on the flip side, if the Bucks can't find a way to put the ball in the basket outside of Giannis, who gave you 42, who gave you 30 or 20 rather in his first game, 20 and 17, it just can't be done. Now, history says that Chris Middleton gets off to slow starts in these playoff series. This isn't the first time he shot a poor field goal percentage. He shot 26% from the field twice in the previous 2 series. And then he had outbreak games where he did get back on track. So I'm hoping that the home cooking, sleeping in their own bed, shooting around on their own gyms, all of that good stuff helps wake up Chris Middleton, because it is going to be entirely too much for Giannis to contend with by himself.
Well, in order for Milwaukee to win the title, they're going to have to become just the second team in NBA postseason history to win multiple series in a single playoffs after trailing 2-0. Monica McNutt with us on SportsCenter. Thank you, Monica. Presented by Rocket Mortgage as Kendrick Perkins and Monica McNutt joined us now. Monica, I want to begin with you. What impressed you most about how the Suns were able to hold off the Bucks last night?
The team component of this, Jay. I mean, in the second half, you're absolutely right. Every time the Bucks cut that thing close to single digits, Devin Booker or Chris Paul responded. But in the first half, you got to credit, Mikal Bridges, who had 27 points, 8 of 15. He really got that Phoenix Suns squad going, and he was running alongside of Jay Crowder, who was 4 of 8 from behind the arc. So those two in the first half. In the second half, Booker and CP3 just continued to respond. As a team, they were so poised. They very rarely looked rushed or made bad decisions in the second half.
Speaking of teams up 2-0 in the NBA Finals are 31-4. Monica McNutt going away, but coming back with us later on SportsCenter. Gary, sending it over to you.
If we're going to do the silver lining thing with the Bucks, it's this. They've been down early in playoff series before. Matter of fact, they went down 0-2 in their second round series with the Nets before closing that out in 7. Then they lost game 1 of their Eastern Conference Finals series with the Hawks before winning that series in 6. Giannis, are we panicking?
We've made a great run so far this year, and we gotta enjoy this part. It's kind of hard to enjoy the game when you're losing, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
They took care of their home court. We gotta find a way to do the same. It starts with the first one at home, though. We gotta come out, be prepared. We have been in this hole before. It's not gonna be easy, but we gotta find a way to do it.
Other teams have found themselves in that hole. 4 of them have gone down and come back to win it. The 1969 Celtics were the first. John Havlicek and Bill Russell against Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, and the Lakers. They took the title in 7. In 1977, Maurice Lucas, Bill Walton, and the Trailblazers stormed back against Dr. J and the Sixers, winning 4 straight after going down 2-0. Walton averaging 19 points, 19 boards on his way to Finals MVP. Nearly 30 years later, 2006, this was the next one. Dwayne Wade leading the Heat back from an 0-2 deficit. He averaged nearly 35 points as the Heat beat Dallas 4-2. And then, a decade later, the 2016 Finals and all-time classic, LeBron leading the Cavaliers back from 0-2 and a 3-1 deficit against the Dubs. They win in 7. Cleveland, that was for you. As we welcome Perk back into the program. Perk, last night on Hoop Streams, we thought the Bucks would show up more as a team unit. They didn't. So who deserves the most blame for the Bucks now being down 0-2?
Well, look, Gary, I know Chris Middleton is under contract for $177 million. I know Drew Holiday is under a contract worth $160 million. And I know, right, they get paid the big bucks and they supposed to deliver, rightfully so. But I got to put the blame on Budenholzer. Here's why. For the simple fact that when you have a pregame speech in a locker room and it comes out and you're saying play freely, go out there and have fun in the finals. In the finals, look, we go back to the Eastern Conference Finals of the Atlanta Hawks series, 5-6 without Giannis. We all witnessed what Drew Holiday and Middleton done. Not only was they able to score buckets, but they were getting others involved. They were rebounding in the trenches. They were able to play off of one another. Soon as Giannis comes back, the Milwaukee Bucks struggle to get their big three going at the same time. That comes on coaching. You have to put these guys in position to be successful. I don't know if Budenholzer need to stagger their minutes. I don't know if he need to bring Drew Holiday in, start the game, bring him in off the bench with the second unit. I don't know what he needs to do, but he has to figure out something to get his big three on the same page and put them in position offensively to be successful.
Both teams fantastic at